Guangzhou, China court Friday handed down guilty verdicts for 3 Chinese rights activists, Tang Jingling, Yuan Xinting and Wang Qingying, who now face up to 5 years in prison for inciting subversion of state power. Human rights groups call the court's decision unjust, arguing that the case has been marred by multiple procedural violations and reflected the Chinese government's increasing hostility toward peaceful dissent. They also expressed concern the sentences handed out in the closely watched trial do not bode well for many more human rights lawyers in detention, some of whom may soon stand trial for similar subversion charges. Chinese officials have not yet commented on the verdicts. After a 20-month detention, the 3 men, known as the 3 Gentlemen of Guangzhou, were convicted for promoting nonviolent civil disobedience and peaceful transformation to democratic rule in China. The Guangzhou Intermediate People's Court sentenced Tang, Yuan, and Wang to a jail term of 5, 3.5 and 2.5 years respectively. Upon hearing the verdicts Friday morning, Tang's lawyer, Qingying said overall, the 3 of them were very calm. Their calmness comes from their disregard and ridicule on the unlawful verdicts. Ge added the trio has long come to the realization that their verdicts would be finalized by higher UPS in the Communist Party, which gives little autonomy to the courts in China. But the lawyer argued the case has set the worst example possible, as many of its legal procedures, including its arrests, gathering of evidence and court trials, were seriously flawed. Most importantly, no reform-minded activists of the country's civil rights community should have had been put behind bars in the first place, Ge said. Tang Jingling advocates the idea of nonviolent disobedience, which aims to build China as a free democracy. It poses no threat to the country at all shall it become a free and democratic nation. Under such circumstances, how can the government arrest him, he asked. In addition to the disobedience movement in 2006, the trio also participated in press freedom protests in Guangzhou in 2013 and commemorative activities for the 25th anniversary of the Tiananmen massacre in 2014. No appeal. Tang has decided not to appeal their case. If no justice can prevail in Chinese courts, it'll be pointless to seek appeal. So, Tang Jingling said that he would only appeal his case to the people and the Lord, said Wang Yanfang, Tang's wife. Saddened by the verdict on Tang, Wang said that she still took pride in the courage of her husband, whom she insisted is a man of integrity. She also complained about what she said were the inhuman treatment the 3 had been through in detention. In particular, Wang Qingying has been repeatedly beaten by fellow detainees and guards, forced to wear handcuffs and leg irons for 15 days, and subjected to forced labor every day, a rights group cited his lawyer as saying. Subversion. What worries human rights groups more is that Chinese authorities appear to have dramatically increased their use of subversion charges as a political tool to quash critics of the government, especially in the past year and a half. Amid the crackdown of rights lawyers since last July 11, more rights lawyers and assistants have been arrested in the past month alone and charged with the more serious subversion charge, which carries up to a life sentence, said Francis Eve, a researcher with the rights group Chinese Human Rights Defenders. Chinese laws permit various loopholes under the umbrella of national security. It's very serious that we're seeing more cases of individuals who are being charged with this crime, Eve said. As of Friday, at least 317 rights lawyers, assistants, and their family members have been arrested, detained or put under house arrest, according to another Hong Kong-based rights group, China Human Rights Lawyer Concern Group. Rights groups expressed concerns that, as some of those detained rights lawyers may stand trial soon, the trio's sentences Friday may spell more bad news to come. It's quite clear that the government is not backing down. It's persistently persecuting human rights defenders. And it's an omen and it's bad sign, Hong Kong-based Eve added.